Hey everyone, Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. Welcome to another one of my real estate investing videos. Today I'm going to talk about time. How to use time wisely and why we have to be patient when we're investing in real estate. So I'm going to have some really great information for you on that. Before we get started, make sure you check out my blog, investformore.com. I have 450 free articles on there, a weekly podcast, a free ebook if you sign up for my email list, and then you can get notified of whenever I post a new article, new podcast comes out as well. So make sure you check that out. A lot of great information. But yeah, I was thinking about time earlier this weekend and just thinking about how I am now 38 years old, which seems crazy. Doesn't seem like I should be that old yet, but I don't know, to some people that seems young, to others it seems old. It's all relative to where we're at in life. And I've done fairly well for myself. I've bought 18 rentals, sold a few of them, so I have 15 actually in my possession. Got 19 flips going at the moment. I think I've flipped something like, we figured it out, 134 houses in my career. I have real estate team with about 10 people on it. A project manager, Nikki, who helps me with my flips. Justin, who manages the agents on our team. John, who helps with contracts. A couple other agents and people who help out with everything. And it's pretty cool seeing everything that's come together, how the business has evolved, how real estate has evolved, how the blog has evolved, how it's done very well. And it's really neat to see all that. But it did not happen overnight. It took a lot of time, a lot of effort, and patience to get all of it together. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are looking kind of for the quick fix, get rich quick. They might not say those words, they may not use that term, but deep inside they really are looking for that, that magic business that'll make them a ton of money right away, and very, very few people ever find that. Really, to build long-term wealth, to be super successful, to build great businesses, it takes time. It takes years to build those, sometimes longer. Very few people get really lucky and can do it just right off the bat, but for most people it takes a long time. And if you're constantly switching, constantly looking for new things, it's going to be very hard to be successful. You've really got to pick something, learn as much about it as you can, take action, get involved, and keep working at it until you know it's either not going to work or it's successful. And you can't just keep going from shiny object to shiny object to shiny object, hoping the next best thing is going to work for you, because really nothing is going to work for you if you don't stick to one thing long enough to see it through, to find out if it'll work, to find out if you can be successful with it. So I am obviously a huge proponent of real estate. It's done very well for me. It's been an awesome career in business and investment vehicle. And I think it can do that for others as well. But you've really got to give it some time to learn the business, learn your markets and all of that. And I'll go through a story of how I first got into real estate, how my career has progressed, give you an idea of how long it's taken for me to become successful. But while you're thinking about this and listening to this story, it doesn't seem like it's that long to me. I know many of you who are going through life too, I mean, things move pretty quickly. A couple of years passes really fast. So if you're sitting there thinking, oh my God, I can't wait 2 years for this rental property to start, really performing well, or for me to get a few rental properties, or to start flipping homes, I just can't wait that long. You're going to have to, and it probably isn't as long as you think it is. So the sooner you start, the sooner you start going to where you want to be, the faster you'll get there, and it probably won't take as long as you think it will. Not because it won't take a year or two or longer, but because that time will pass so quickly. So just remember that as we're going through how long it's taken me to become successful. So I grew up in a real estate family. My dad was a real estate agent since 1978, right before I was born. He's an agent all through elementary school, junior high, high school. I was with him all the time on showings, talking to clients in the office. And I wanted nothing to do with real estate, nothing at all. And in high school, I can remember just thinking, I don't want to be in real estate, I don't want to do it. I went to the University of Colorado, got a degree in business finance because I liked money, and I thought that sounded like a good degree to make money with. Well, when I graduated, there was no magic job waiting there for me that would pay me a ton of money for my business degree. It's all kind of entry-level jobs, starter things. I thought I was worth more than that. Mostly I was naive, and didn't really know how the world worked at that time. But in the meantime, I decided I'll just work part-time for my dad in real estate and before I find out what I really want to do. And that part-time turned into full-time. Got my real estate license, started selling houses, and then he fixed and flipped houses once in a while. So I would help him with those. I got paid a very small percentage of the profits on those. But I loved that business. I loved finding deals. I loved fixing them up. I even did some of the work myself. But didn't make a ton of money on it because I said I had a small percentage. We're only doing, a couple a year, maybe 4 or 5 at the very most. First 5 years as a real estate agent, I was not super successful. I was working with traditional buyers, traditional sellers. I wasn't very motivated. I wasn't good at calling people back. Honestly, I was not a good agent. I was not good at my job, and I didn't succeed for some reason. Weird how that works out. Somewhere along the way, I kind of decided, hey, I should be making more money than this. I should be more successful. I was, I had a house. I was paying my bills. It wasn't the end of the world, but I thought I had higher aspirations and higher goals than what I was achieving. And I kind of went to my dad and said, hey, this isn't fair. I should be getting paid more money. I'd have to sell like 100 houses to make as much money as I want. And that's absolutely crazy. No one can do that. And that's kind of what I wrote out this plan to him about that. And he looked at me and he's like, not really going to change anything. So you probably should figure this out yourself. And that wasn't the response I wanted. But what that did is it kind of got in my head this idea of, hey, you can get, if you sold 100 houses, you'd be making as much money as you want. And that seemed like an impossible goal because at the time I was selling like 10 to 15 houses a year. But somehow it planted a seed in my head. I ended up getting into the REO business, selling foreclosures for banks. Started going to conferences. Started listening to self-help CDs, reading books, trying to better myself. I wasn't thinking I could do all of it on my own. I wasn't out there as this lone wolf trying to reinvent everything without any help from anybody, which is what I really did do in the beginning of my career. When I got help from others, I started going to conferences. I started really working on how I could improve, not how the world around me needed to improve for me. I went to selling 50 houses in a year and a half. The next year I sold 100. I got up to a point where I was selling 200 houses a year. And I thought that was absolutely impossible, 4 years before that. So it took a while to find my niche to really be successful in real estate. But once I got there, it did happen very quickly. And once I started making a lot of money from selling those REOs, that's when I started investing in rental properties. Bought my first one in 2010. Ended up buying, like I said, 18. Actually, I bought 16 in between 2010 and 2015. Then I stopped buying for a while because the market got so crazy here in Colorado. It was just insane how high prices have gone. They went from a 112 median price in Greeley, where I'm at, to 290,000 now in like 6 or 7 years. So crazy price appreciation. So I stopped buying rentals. Then this year I started buying a couple more rentals, commercial properties, not residential. So I've started buying rentals again. I also started fixing, flipping more houses. Convinced my dad different ways to buy them through the MLS, through auctions, expanded how we were buying properties. That got us flipping more. And I started my blog in 2013. Was talking about what I was doing. The rentals, the flips, being an agent. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd never written anything since college. I was a horrible writer. Some say I still am a horrible writer. But my goal is to get the point across and to help people. And now I've got quite a few editors who help me with my horrible writing skills. But I think it's been pretty successful. 2013, I bought out my dad, paid him for the business, the flipping, the real estate team, all of that. I started running everything, started flipping more houses, went from doing 8 flips to 12 to 18. This year, we're probably going to flip 30 houses. Got 19 in progress right now. Like I said, we've sold 21 already, and I have 7 on the market. So we'll be really close to selling 30 flips this year. Also want to buy 30 flips. So that's really cool. Like I said, I'm buying rentals. I've got, $8,000 a month in income coming in from the rental properties. I've got quite a bit of income coming in from the blog, from selling my books. I have 6 paperback books I've written. I've got coaching programs on the blog for agents, for investors, for flipping, for rentals, for finding deals, for just figuring out what you want to do in real estate. I think that's, a lot of people's first problem is, hey, do I want to wholesale? Do I want to flip? Do I want to rental? I've got all kinds of things going on. and it's really fun. It provides a ton of freedom, a lot of joy, a lot of happiness. I was able to buy a Lamborghini in 2014. I bought a Lotus Esprit earlier this year. I'm a huge car nut, and real estate has allowed me to, fulfill some childhood fantasies that I never thought would happen before. But back to the whole reason for this story is it's taken, 15 years to accomplish all this, but it sure doesn't feel like 15 years. It feels like a lot shorter time. And from the time I got super motivated, really started, working on myself, working on the business instead of blaming everyone else, it's been about 9 or 10 years where I was going from making 40 grand a year, some years 28, some years 50, kind of all over the place, to where I'm at a point now where I'm making, a lot more than that with my rentals, with the flips, with the real estate team. It's pretty cool to see how it all evolved. But again, it took time for it to evolve. I didn't do all of it at once, and I found out that when I focused on one thing at a time, instead of trying to do 20 things at once, it happened much quicker, I was much more successful, and things progressed smoother without as many hiccups. And what I mean by that is I have so many people who, email me, comment, say, oh my gosh, I want to flip, I want to buy rentals, I want to be a wholesaler, I want to be an agent, I want to start a blog, I want to do everything you do. And first I say, well, I'm not really a wholesaler, so don't do that. No, just kidding. You can wholesale too and make money. But what I say is focus on one thing. Don't go crazy trying to do all this at once. You're going to get burned out. You're going to not be successful because you're too scatterbrained. Gary Keller has a book, The One Thing, which is an amazing book, and just says you need to figure out what the one thing is you should be doing and focus on that. Don't get distracted by too many things. So when you're trying to decide how to be successful in real estate, how to spend your time wisely, how to get things going fast, and you don't want to wait for years for, cash flow to start building up, or to save enough money for a flip, or you just can't wait. Just remember to focus first. Make sure you know everything you need to know about that one business you want to be in. Focus on that one business. Don't try and do 3 different things at once. And then the sooner you get started, the less time you'll have to wait, and that time will move much faster than you think it will. Just get started. Get out there. Start making some moves, making some offers, learning your market like the back of your hand. That's one of the most important things you can do. You will learn. You'll make progress. It won't feel like it's taking as long as maybe it does. But at the same time, in a couple of years, and 5 years, and 10 years, you'll look back and be like, wow, I bought a lot of houses. I got a lot accomplished. I really built something here. And it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. It didn't take as long as I thought it would take. Or maybe it just didn't feel as long as it really was. But, I'm so glad I started. I'm so glad I got, things rolling at that point instead of just jumping around from business to business trying to find that magic that probably isn't there. So if you're frustrated with real estate, you don't know where to start, you think it's going to take too long, it seems hard, all of that is true. And that's why not everybody is a real estate investor and makes a ton of money at it. Because it takes discipline, it takes work, it takes time, it takes perseverance. And you have to have all of those to really push through the down times, get through the tough beginnings, start buying properties, seeing, learning your market, refinancing those properties maybe, taking cash out, finding partners, finding different lenders. All of that takes time. But it's not impossible. It's definitely doable. It can happen. And, it's not the end of the world if it takes a couple of years to really get in a groove, get to where you want to be. Good things rarely come overnight. It takes a while to really build that foundation and become an expert at what you want to do. And if you become that expert, you know your market like nobody else, you know exactly how you want to do your business like nobody else, you will be successful. It's just a matter of time. How long will it take? How much time do you have to put into it? Will you persevere long enough for it to become successful? So I know this video was kind of all over the place about how I got started, about not being frustrated with the time it takes, getting started, all of that. But hopefully it helped you kind of put in perspective about Yes, it takes time. Be patient, but it probably won't take as long as you think it will, because time passes very fast. Like I said, I've got help for all of these things on my blog, and you can always email me as well, mark@investformore.com. The site is investformore.com. If you go to my resources page, it lists all the coaching programs. The Jumpstart program kind of tells you what the best real estate investing to start with for you is. Again, everyone's different, but if you want to wholesale, flip, rentals, a lot of it depends on your experience, how much time you have, how much money you have, all of that. And then I also have those programs for rental properties where we do conference calls, unlimited email coaching, a bunch of other stuff, flipping program. All of it's super affordable. I'm not out there trying to charge people 20 grand for a program like a lot of other people. I don't feel good about myself doing that, so don't worry about trying to be upcharged to 4 different programs and spending all the money you had to buy a house. That's not what I'm about. So, all right, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Any comments, questions, like I said, email me. Leave a comment here. I respond to all those personally. And good luck with your real estate investing.